Hello book lovers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steph and this is going to be a weekly reading vlog. So it is Monday, June 24th, so I did decide that I wanted to start this reading vlog. It's right at the beginning of the week and I will end it at the very end of the month. So very quickly, I do not have any plans going on this week. It's going to be like a very chill, cozy weekly reading vlog. I will let you know my reading plans. So I did finish my entire June TBR for my Disney Villainous TBR game. So I kind of have like free reign for what I want to read. So I will let you guys kind of know what I am in the middle of. So this morning I did pick up the second volume in Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which is this like very cute and cozy like horror graphic novel, which sounds really strange, but it's actually like these citizens that are all animals and there is someone amongst them that is a serial killer. So in the second volume so far we are following our main serial killer, but there seems to be like another one that has shown up in town. So our main serial killer is trying to figure out who this other person is, like coming into his territory. So it's so far really good. I am about 17 pages into it, so I'm about halfway done. They are very short volumes. They're only about 30 pages long, so I'm very much enjoying myself reading that. And then also for my audiobook option, so I do have two that are available to me. So I have True Biz, which I actually just hauled in a previous video, and Check and Mate. So I haven't decided which one I am going to start with, but I will be just listening while I do things around the house. That's kind of like what I do. I go on like walks and I always just like have an audiobook on. So those are my two options for the audiobook. I don't have a physical book going right now. I might pick something up, but I also have to read Tower of Dawn for my July TBR, which you guys would have already seen. So I'm kind of just like waiting to pick up something physical, and that will probably be my first physical read, but you probably won't see that in this vlog. And then on my Kindle, I did just grab The Housemaid is Watching, which is the third book in this series. So I really liked book one. Book two was still good, but it wasn't as good as book one. And then this book is absolutely like horrendous. I don't know what is going on, but I just hate this book so much. I don't DNF books, so I am going to power through it. I am about 50% of the way through with this, so I am kind of almost done with it, but like the first two read so quickly, and this book is just dragging on. I cannot for the life of me understand how I feel like I've been reading this for weeks now. Yeah, I'm just not having a good time with this, but again, I do not DNF books, so I will be reading this on my Kindle. And yeah, that's kind of all of the reading updates that I have for you guys. I will check back in when I do have something else, and I hope you guys enjoy this weekly reading vlog. Happy Tuesday, June 25th. I'm sorry that I didn't update the vlog at all last night. I don't really want to make it too long, so I might check in kind of every day and let you guys know kind of where I'm at with my reading. I don't really know what I'm doing. We're just, keeping it real. We're just going with the flow here on this channel as usual. But I do have some reading updates. So I did finish Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I gave that 4.5 stars. That was the horror graphic novel that I was reading, 30 pages, super quick, super fun. I absolutely loved it. Gave that 4.5 stars. So I did finish that book. And then I also decided to pick up Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I was between True Biz and Check and Mate, and I decided to pick that up yesterday, and I was able to listen to the entire book yesterday. So I did end up giving Check and Mate a 3.75, and I don't think that I told you guys what this was about. So this is a YA contemporary romance, and we are following our main character, Mallory, who used to play chess at a very competitive level. She was like the best at the time, but there is something, like, not even a mystery, but there is a reason that she stopped playing. It has to do with her family, and we're kind of trying to figure out exactly why she chose to stop playing chess. So we are following her no longer in the sport, got her mother and her sisters that she is living with, and then she decides that she's going to play in one final tournament, and at that tournament she ends up beating the best chess player in the world, and that is the love interest in this book. So yes, I did end up starting and finishing this yesterday. Like I said, I did give it a 3.75. I thought that it was really cute. I didn't love the romance very much in this book. I thought it was fine. There was nothing wrong with the romance. Overall, a 3.75 is a good rating. I actually really enjoyed the familial relationships in here. I thought that Mallory's relationships with her two sisters and her mother were absolutely amazing. I loved the banter between the sisters. I thought that it was actually very funny. I was laughing out loud at some points, so I did really like the humor. Again, the actual romance portion of this was kind of my least favorite. I also really enjoyed the chess aspect of this. I've read The Queen's Gambit, and I don't know what it is, but I actually quite enjoy a good chess book. It's a very interesting game to me, as I have no idea how to play chess, so I did like that aspect. And then while we are on the topic of audiobooks, I did start True Biz this morning. I'm about 38% of the way through with the audiobook. So this story is actually told in 3 separate storylines. So we are following 3 main characters, February, Austin, and Charlie. So February is the head mistress of this deaf school, and Charlie and Austin are both students that go to this school, but their life obviously kind of intermingles while they are at this school. So we are following each of their separate stories as they attend this deaf school, and I am quite enjoying this book a lot. The audiobook is really well done, and at the end of some of the chapters we actually get a lesson in American Sign Language and kind of how you can practice it and stuff like that. So I would definitely like to go back and see the physical book. The audiobook does do a very good job of differentiating between who needs assistance and actually needs to see people who are signing, or if they're able to speak and if they're able to hear with implants or whatnot. So it does do a good job of keeping all of the characters straight, and you figure out who is where in their journey at this school. So yeah, I'm really liking that. I'm hoping to finish that by end of the day today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on if I have some time to do some listening later on. And then I am still reading The Housemaid is Watching. I am actually 59% of the way through with this now, so I haven't really made much progress, but I did just get to part 2, and there is something that happens in part 2 that is making me more intrigued to pick it up. So hopefully I can make a pretty good dent in this book today. I would really like to finish that so that I can just pick up something else on my Kindle or something physically before the end of the month, where I have to actually read Tower of Dawn. I also don't think I told you guys what this book is about. So we are following Millie from book 1, and in this book she moves to a new home. So she ends up buying a home, and she starts kind of dealing with the neighbors, and she's got one neighbor that's super nosy in everybody's business, and then she has another neighbor that's kind of snotty and makes really offside comments to her, and has this obsession with our main character's husband. And so we are following for the first little bit of the book, just them kind of getting used to the neighborhood and getting used to their neighbors and stuff like that. Like I said, the first half of this book was just so boring, but now it is starting to pick up a little bit. So I have hope that this can redeem itself slightly, but it's definitely not going to be a new favorite at all. And yeah, those are kind of all of my reading updates for now. I will check back in once I have finished another book or if I am planning on starting something else, but I'm hoping to give you guys an update once I'm done The Housemaid is Watching. I finished listening to True Biz. So far we have read 2 books for this vlog, so I am very happy with that. And again, I will see you guys in a little bit. morning. Happy June 27th. It is Thursday. I don't think I updated you guys at all yesterday, but I did insert some B-roll of kind of what I got up to yesterday. I do have some exciting reading updates though. So the last time we spoke, I was a little bit into the audiobook of True Biz, and I'm happy to say that I did finish that book. So I did rate True Biz a 3.5. I did find that the story was kind of losing me near the end. I kind of started not caring, but I did still really like everything that I learned from this book. I did find it super interesting. I was making some notes in my phone about things that I found really interesting about this book. This book actually depicted some discrimination even within the deaf community. So I found it very interesting that there is this whole controversy within that community about cochlear implants and whether or not they should be used. There's like an entire like rabbit hole that you can go down on the internet. I was kind of reading about it, and some people are like pro these implants and some people are against it. It's like this entire controversial thing within that community, and I had no idea. So it was a very interesting like read to kind of do some more research into that. I also found out that the author of True Biz, Sarah Novick, is also deaf. So this is an own voices book. And then another really like cool fact that I didn't know until I started reading this book, but it is on like the Goodreads description, which I didn't see. But True Biz is actually American Sign Language for really, seriously, definitely, and real talk. So I found that really, really interesting. And yeah, I ended up giving True Biz a 3.5. I thought it was a very solid book. I thought the audiobook was really good and I had a good time with it. Other than it kind of like losing me at the end, and the ending wasn't exactly, I guess, what I was expecting. So that's kind of where the rating comes from. But other than that, it was enjoyable. I had a good time. And then my other update is that I finally finished The Housemaid is Watching. I did end up giving this book a 2.25. Like I was saying with the last update, this book was super slow within the first 50%. I would say even maybe 55%. And then you get to part 2 and it does start picking up. But unfortunately, it did not pick up enough to the point where I enjoyed it at all, really. I was thinking about giving it a 2-star, but then I was like, it does get a little bit more enjoyable. Ending was just so unbelievable, and a lot of the story, the reveals, and how some of the characters act, the children in this book act as if they are way older than they actually are, and the things that they're doing in this book really don't make sense. And then the ending also didn't really make sense. Like, I understand what Frida McFadden was trying to do with like this like wow factor, but this just felt so unbelievable to the point where it just wasn't enjoyable, which I am starting to find that with my thrillers, if things are super unbelievable, I'm not enjoying them as much as I used to. And I don't know if that's just because I've read so many thrillers or because I find it as like a cop-out for the author where they're just literally making twists to make twists that don't even make sense. But I don't know. Did not enjoy this one. I don't recommend it, but I am happy that I am finally done with it. And then I did need another audiobook, so I kind of just looked on Libby to see what was available. And I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, because I just read a Frida McFadden that I did not enjoy at all, but these are usually very quick audiobooks and they're just super easily digestible. You can kind of listen to them while you're doing whatever. You don't really need to pay attention too much, and you know exactly what's going on. So I did pick up Ward D by Frida McFadden. I am about 44% of the way through with that. So after this, I am just going to keep listening to it. I did start this morning, so I am already almost 50% of the way through. So I'm definitely very happy with how much I have been able to read in this vlog. I also just realized that I didn't even tell you guys what Ward D is about. So basically in Ward D, we are following our main character, Amy, who works in the hospital, and she is specifically required to work in Ward D, which is the psychiatric unit at the hospital, but she's very worried about it because she has like some secrets from her past. She doesn't want anyone finding out, and she's just very uneasy about working at Ward D. And this book is told in dual timelines. So we're following like the present day, which is her night at this psychiatric hospital. And then we are also following the past timelines where we follow her and her relationship with her best friend. So yeah, so far, I wouldn't say that it's anything groundbreaking, but it is keeping my attention. It's super quick. Like I said, I just started it this morning and I'm almost 50% of the way through. So yeah, it's fine. Right now, it's probably sitting at like a 3-star, nothing too crazy. Once I finish my TBR for the month, I really do just try to read as much as I can. A lot of it's like mood reading, but a lot of it is also what is available to read. So I place a ton of holds on Libby. Yeah, a lot of people ask me how I read so much. So I always have an audiobook on the go. I have a ton of holds. I have like over 40 holds on Libby. So anytime something becomes available, I just listen to it. And then I just listen to audiobooks during every single thing that I do. If I'm like making dinner, if I'm cleaning the house, if I'm going for a walk, like I always have an audiobook in my ear. Like I'm sure people get so annoyed because I literally never hear what anyone's saying because I always have headphones in and I'm always listening to an audiobook. And then I always have a physical book on the go. I am trying to do like physical and then Kindle as well. But yeah, right now I only have Ward D on the go and I don't know what else I want to pick up. I was going to pick up a horror. I was going to try When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen, but I did just look at the font and it is quite small font. Like I said, it is June 27th, so I do have to start my July TBR on the 1st. I don't want to pick up something that's going to follow me into the beginning of the month, so I just want to pick up something that's super short that I can physically read, but I really don't know. I actually think what I just said, you can forget that I said it, because I think what I really am in the mood for right now is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, and that is definitely not going to be something I can read by the end of the month, but maybe I can get a good dent into it and then I can just put it on pause for my July TBR, but we'll see. But I'm just gonna go and grab it. Okay, so this is The Girl Next Door, which I was talking to you guys about. This has been like pitched to me as one of the most disturbing books that people have ever read. I am in the mood for this, and I think I am going to start this in this vlog. I definitely will not finish it. I don't think I have enough time to read. Let me see how many pages. So this is just under 300 pages, so I feel like I can get a good dent in this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in this vlog. But this is kind of what I am in the mood for. I did just haul this not too long ago, so I do want to get to it. So I think this is going to be my physical read. For those of you who do not know, I'm pretty sure that this is actually based off of a true story, which makes it even more frightening. And the back says,
a teenage girl is held captive and brutally tortured by neighborhood children. Based on a true story, this shocking novel reveals the depravity of which we are all capable.
So yeah, sounds like it's going to be super heavy. And I don't know, I am just really in the mood for this. I feel like I am going to annotate this, so I will take you guys along while we pick some annotation supplies. Okay, so it is now Sunday, June 30th. I did not update you guys for a couple of days. I was just a little bit busy. The baby's sick. So yeah, there was a lot going on. So I did not update, but I did want to jump on here and close out this vlog and also just let you know the rest of my reading updates. Okay, so I believe the last time we spoke, I was kind of in the middle of Ward D by Frida McFadden. I did end up finishing that audiobook. I ended up giving it a 2.5 stars out of 5. I thought it was just okay. I really just found myself not really caring about the story, and the ending left me feeling like I just wanted more. I don't know what it was. That book just didn't really work for me. I thought that the beginning was super, super solid and good. I was quite invested at the beginning, but as the book kind of just kept going on, I just didn't care as much. So yeah, Frida McFadden just writes like very quick, fast-paced thrillers. I think that this audiobook was only like 7 hours, so I was able to get through it very quickly. But again, it just really didn't do much for me. Then following that, the next book that I picked up on audio was actually The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I did go visit one of my best friends for a birthday party on Saturday, so yesterday, and the drive is quite a drive. It's like a 2.5 hour drive there and then a 2.5 hour drive back. So I did pick up an audiobook for the drive, which was The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. So this is a mystery and thriller. It is very, very similar to Lucy Foley's other book, which was The Guest List. It kind of follows a cast of characters, and also you know somebody is dead at the beginning of the book, but you don't know like how, you don't really know any of the circumstances surrounding that. And then you are following kind of a cast of characters to get to the point where you know that somebody has died. And yeah, this book kind of takes place at this very like prestigious manor. It's like the opening night at this like new manor that has all of these little like cabins. It's very like woodsy feel, so it is different from The Guest List in that sense, but it's a very something is out in the woods type of feel. It was actually like a very, very like atmospheric book. I did really like that about this book. So this book I ended up giving a 3-star to, which I'm kind of sad about because it actually started off really, really good. I was very immersed in the story and I was following along perfectly with the book, even with the characters. It wasn't too confusing. There's only a few that get introduced at the beginning, so you really get to kind of follow the story easily that way. It was very creepy, atmospheric. I love cabin in the woods type of feel. The guests, it's like very prestigious. There's infinity pools, and it was just like a very good vibe. It just gave me the vibe luxury camping for some reason, and I just pictured myself in the woods with these like lantern lights for some reason. But yeah, it was giving me like very high 4-star vibes, but then the second half of the book, I just really didn't care. There was a huge emphasis on birds in this book, and I really just got pulled out of the story. I was so immersed into it, and then the second half, I just found myself really not caring. The ending was just okay. There were a couple of reveals that did happen at the end, and I did like how they were revealed, so that kind of saved the book for me, but again, it just really lost my interest. But I did start this yesterday and was able to finish it yesterday, and again, gave this one a 3 stars. And then the last book that I want to talk to you guys all about, just to finally wrap up this reading vlog, is The Girl Next Door. So I did say that I was going to pick this up physically. This was going to be my physical read that I was going to try and read for the end of this vlog, but I didn't think that I would be able to do it. Well, let me tell you that this book just pulled me in. I could not stop reading it. I literally just finished it. This is how much I tabbed it. This book, I have a very hard time talking about this book because, I don't know, this was probably the most disturbing book that I have ever read in my entire life. And that is saying a lot because I do read quite a bit of horror. I wouldn't say that I'm like an expert in the genre by any means, but I do feel like I do pick up quite a bit of horror. And this was just based off of a true story. So it's like a real life horror, which makes things like so much more like intense, and the stakes are just so much higher, I feel. There is a quote on the back of this book which really sums up my reading experience of this book. And it says,
"The reader, even though repulsed by the story, cannot look away. Definitely not for the faint of heart."
And then another quote that says,
"Realism is what makes this novel so terrifying. The monsters are human and all the more horrifying for it."
So it's literally, that is what makes this so scary, is that this happens and can happen. And this was just the most disturbing book I've ever read. So I have a very hard time rating this. I mean, I know exactly what I'm going to rate it. I have to rate it 5 stars. The emotion that this book drew out of me is something that a lot of books cannot do. This is going down as one of my all-time, I don't even want to call it a favorite book, because call this a favorite is, it's just weird because of the subject matter in here, but it's a book that I am going to think about for the rest of my life. I'm definitely going to reread it, and it just left such an impact on me that I can't give it anything less than a 5 star, because when a book is able to pull those kinds of emotions out of me, yeah, I will never recommend this book to anybody. I don't recommend that you read it, especially like if you have a very hard time with like certain certain triggers. This was, again, the most disturbing book I think I have ever read, and it was extremely hard to read at times, and I actually needed to take several breaks, even though I read this very, very quickly. I don't really have much else to say on this. It's really hard to talk about, so yeah. Do I recommend this? No. Was it one of the best books I've read this year? Yes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wrap up my entire reading for this vlog so we know exactly what I read in this vlog. So the first book I read was Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which I gave 4.5 stars. Then I read Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which I gave 3.75 stars. Then I read True Biz by Sarah Novick, which I gave 3.5 stars. I also read The Housemaid is Watching, which I gave a 2.25 stars. I then read Ward D by Frida McFadden, which I gave a 2.5 stars. And then I read The Midnight Feast as well, which I gave a 3 star. And then I finished it off with The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, which I gave a 5 star. So I read 7 books in this vlog, 7 books in 7 days. I'm very, very happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see other vlogs from me. I really do enjoy filming them. I don't know if I'm going to be doing like weekly vlogs. Weekly vlogs kind of give me the opportunity to read a lot, which if you're looking for like books that are being read in vlogs, then it's a great opportunity. But I would also like to do like 24-hour vlogs, 48-hour vlogs, maybe like specific book vlogs. I don't really know. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like to see more videos like this from me in the future. That is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this vlog, let me know by leaving the door emoji for our 5-star read in the vlog, which was The Girl Next Door. If you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up like button. And as always, if you are new here, I would love to have you stick around and please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.